My name is Sophia. I am 30 years old. I live in Seattle. I said yes to a man I didn't love because I was scared to be alone. Now, I sit by the ocean every night, letting the cold sea air fill my lungs, wondering if happiness is still out there. The waves crash in front of me, cold and endless. They make a hissing sound as they pull back, like the world is telling me secrets I can't understand. I watch the water like it's going to answer me back, but it never does. It's quiet here, quieter than home, because home doesn't feel like home anymore. 2 years ago, I married Nathan, not because I loved him, but because I didn't want to be the last single woman in my friend group. Because I was tired of weddings that weren't mine. Baby showers I never got invited to. Whispered comments from my mother like, "He's a good man, Sophia. Why are you always so picky?" Nathan was fine, smart, stable, sweet. He worked in finance, didn't smoke, met his mom once a week, and wore nice shoes. We met through a friend. After 4 months of steady, safe dating, he proposed. There was no music, no grand speech, just him, on one knee in a clean living room, holding a ring I hadn't dreamed of, and me standing there, my heart silent, waiting to feel something. But instead, I smiled, and I said yes. We got married in the fall. The leaves were bright red, the flowers golden, but my hand stayed cold as he put the ring on my finger. Everyone said we were lucky. Inside, I felt like I was walking into a story that didn't belong to me. I thought I'd grow into it, like a sweater that fits weird at first, but gets comfortable over time. But it never did. The first few months were quiet, too quiet. We didn't fight. We didn't laugh. We acted like strangers, sharing a house-burning dinner, forgetting chores, watching TV shows we didn't care about. I worked part-time at a flower shop. The scent of roses and lilies clung to my clothes, but Nathan never noticed. He worked 10-hour days. When I talked about how sunflowers turn toward the light, or the poetry of thorns on a rose, his eyes glazed over. When he talked about quarterly returns, mine did too. We shared a bed, but we felt miles apart. He never asked me what I wanted. I never told him I felt like I was disappearing, and maybe that's my fault. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed my coat and walked. Seattle is always a little gray, but the ocean doesn't lie to you. It shows the truth, even when it's hard. The ocean became my refuge, a place that didn't ask questions or demand smiles. My face was wet, but not from the rain. The tears felt different here, less like failure, more like release. That became my ritual. Then one night, Nathan followed me. He sat down beside me without a word. "I didn't know you came here," he said. "You never asked." We sat in silence for a while. Then he said, "Do you regret marrying me?" I didn't answer, but I didn't need to. He nodded, like he already knew. "Yeah, me too." That night was the most honest moment we ever had. We both admitted it. We were afraid. Afraid of being alone. Afraid of starting over. Afraid of what people would say. But knowing that didn't fix anything. It just made the quiet between us feel heavier. A few weeks later, something strange happened. I was looking for a charger in his drawer. His work laptop was open. I wasn't snooping, truly. A bright blue light glared at me. A message popped up. "I can't get you out of my head. I miss you." The name was Claire. My body felt frozen. I clicked. There were more messages, flirty words, heart emojis. They'd gone out for drinks. She worked with him. She knew he was married, and she didn't care. But what broke me wasn't the cheating. It was this message. "I've never been myself around Sophia. But with you, I feel free." I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I walked to the ocean. The tide was low, leaving broken shells and seaweed behind. I wondered if I was as broken as they were. I sat on that bench and thought about my life, and I asked myself a terrible question. Did I push him into someone else's arms? We didn't talk for days, but I did pack quietly, slowly, like each shirt folded was a goodbye. I hadn't said out loud yet. One morning, I wrote a note. "I'm leaving for a while. I need to find myself again. Maybe we both do." I left it on the counter, walked out with nothing but a suitcase and the ocean in my ears. But halfway down the block, I heard the door slam. "Sophia," his voice cracked, sharp, raw, real. He was barefoot, standing on the wet pavement, the note in his shaking hands. "Please don't go," he said, breathless. "Not like this." He was crying. I had never seen him cry before, not even at our wedding. "I know I broke something. I don't deserve to ask you to stay, but I swear I never stopped wanting to be better. I just didn't know how to try." I went to stay with my mom for a week. My younger married sister was already there with her baby. She looked at me like I was breaking. "Do you love him?" she asked. "I don't know," I said. "I think I loved the idea of us more than the man himself." She nodded. "Do you want to try again?" "I don't know that either." But then something happened. A package arrived for me from our apartment. It was a journal. The cover felt rough, like tree bark. Inside was a note. "I found this last week. It made me think of you. The pages are empty, but the trees they came from survived many storms. If you ever want to write again about us, about anything, maybe this can be a new beginning." And I stared at that note for a long time. He wasn't saying sorry. He wasn't making excuses. He was just giving me a fresh start. I returned home. We didn't pretend things were okay, but we started talking. Really talking. Words came slowly, like building a puzzle. He ended things with Claire, blocked her. He asked if we could try therapy. I said yes. The therapist's room smelled like mint and old books. We talked about hard things, awkward things, painful things. And then one day, Nathan broke. "I hated myself," he said. "Not just for Claire, for all of it. For sitting next to you every night and pretending I was whole when I wasn't. I wanted to tell you how lonely I felt, but I thought I had to be perfect. That if I showed you the mess, you'd leave." He rubbed his eyes hard. "I was already disappearing, Sophia. I just didn't know you were too." Months passed. One night he came home with blue paint on his hands. "I signed us up for an art class," he said. "Don't make fun of me." "I won't," I said, smiling. "I'm surprised." "I want to try," he said. "For us." The first class was messy paint spills, shaky lines. But when he laughed at the green smudge on my nose, I felt something warm inside. We didn't fall back in love overnight. We took small steps, through small things: morning coffee, shared playlists, lazy Sunday walks, apologies that didn't come with excuses. He started reading the meanings of flowers I'd scribbled on napkin: sunflowers for loyalty, lavender for peace, left open on the kitchen table. I started tucking sprigs of rosemary, for remembrance, into his coat pocket. I started asking about his dreams, not just his deadlines. And then came the surprise I never saw coming. I was cleaning the hallway closet when I found a small box. Inside was another ring. Not the one he gave me when we first got engaged. A different one, simpler, with a note that read, "I bought this before Claire. I wanted to ask you to marry me again. For real this time. Not because we had to, but because we wanted to." I sat on the floor, holding that box, crying hard but feeling hopeful. That night, I held the box out to him. "You should have asked," I said. He looked nervous. I was waiting for the right time. I stepped closer. "Now's good." We didn't do another wedding. No guests, no flowers, just a vow. One line each, he said. "This time, I choose you with my whole heart." I said, "This time, I choose myself. And you can walk with me if you want to stay." Now, every week, we walk to the ocean together. We still sit on that same bench. The waves don't have answers, but they feel like friends now. Only now, I'm not wondering if happiness is out there. I'm sitting next to it. Some nights, when the moon paints silver lines on the water, we walk home holding hands a little tighter. Our apartment feels different lately, warmer, like it's holding its breath for something new. The breeze carries the ocean song into our room, and when he kisses me, it's slow and sweet, like we're learning each other all over again. Last week, I found a baby name book tucked under his pillow. When I held it up, he turned pink and said, "Just looking ahead." I didn't laugh. I just slid it back gently and whispered, "Me too." I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I know this: love doesn't always begin with sparks. Sometimes, it grows in the silence. Slowly, bravely. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. More emotional and inspiring stories are coming soon.